Hello everybody, I'm Benjamin Pauly at the Woodstock Inn and Resort, and I just wanted to share with you a couple thoughts I had on bees and plants and flowers and pollination for Billings Farm Pollination Week. So right now we're at Callaway Gardens, which is the inn's market garden that grows vegetables and flowers and herbs and fruits. And then we also have a couple acres at Billings Farm Museum that we manage, and we grow some fun things out there, which I'll talk about at the end. But first I want to talk to you about bees. And so there are thousands of types of bees, and Vermont alone has almost 300 species of bees. And while we do have honeybees in the garden, they're not native to Vermont. So I really want you to get interested in native pollinators. So there's tons of bees. There's mason bees, there's bumblebees, everybody knows bumblebees, carpenter bees, and so all these bees are part of the ecosystem already. So to plant plants that attract these bees and to provide areas for them to nest is crucial for pollination of the garden. You would be surprised that some plants are specifically pollinated by native bees and not honeybees. So if you're growing squashes and pumpkins, those are all native bees. Tomatoes are typically native bees, blueberries, strawberries. So if you love these things, which I'm sure you do, you really want to encourage native bees in your garden. And so one of the sources that I look to is the Xerces Societies, and they actually put out this great book, Attracting Native Pollinators, and it kind of goes through the pollinators that they kind of highlight and what's their habitat, what do they need to feed on, and and then they also talk about plants, what plants you can plant to attract those pollinators and how to arrange it in your garden. I'm kind of standing in front of one little strip right here between our kind of road going through the garden and our beds going up on this side. And this is a little steep for doing cultivation beds, so there's lots of little pockets in the garden that you can plant plants just to attract beneficial insects and those native pollinators. So this whole row has daffodils coming in right now, which are gorgeous and used for cut flowers. Probably not a great pollinator plant, but right now in the spring that's what you're seeing. And I'm standing in a patch of New England Asters. Right behind that is rose milkweed. And then we have something called Liatris ligulastylis, which I'll talk about in a second. And they're in blocks, so it's good to plant these plants in, this is about a 4x4 or 6x6 block. It's easier for the bees to find. They can kind of hone in on that specific plant. And it's good to really plant things that straddle the season. So again, the New England Asters are fantastic. They're in the fall, they're blooming around frost. One of the last things to bloom. Bees love them. We also have all throughout the outside of the garden pussy willows. I have a little kind of wet spot over there, so we've planted a bunch of pussy willows. Those are one of the first things that bloom in the spring that the bees just gravitate towards. And so there's one plant in particular that I want you to get excited about. They're not for bees particularly, but it's more for monarch butterflies. Monarch butterflies are kind of the poster child of pollination, and they aren't really pollinating much in the garden for vegetables, but they definitely pollinate wildflowers. And so I wrote it down that Liatris ligulastylis is called meadow blazing star. I just want you to write it down because there are many species of Liatris out there. You'll find them at garden centers, but you want specifically Liatris ligulastylis. The other ones will attract monarch butterflies, but this one just blows them out of the water. I have a patch kind of behind that light. It's about 6 feet by 6 feet. I probably have about 12 to 15 plants in there. It is not uncommon in August, when that is blooming, to find 20 to 30 monarchs just wafting in the wind all around them. So it's absolutely fantastic. It'll blow your mind out. Plant that, plant the rose milkweed. You have perfect habitat for the butterflies, adult butterflies to feed, and then their larvae to feed on the milkweed. And lastly, sunflowers. So sunflowers, we do lots of different things at sunflowers, but our highlight is at Billings Farm and Museum, and we do the sunflower house. This year, it's about half an acre, 3/4 acre patch of land that we plant sunflowers. And this year we have over 50 varieties of sunflowers, and it's there are pathways, alleyways, hallways, big round rooms, sunflowers that get 18 inches tall and ones that get 14 feet tall. So they're quite fun. And again, 50 different varieties this year. Walking through, you'll see every color of yellow you can imagine. And we look forward to having you come and visit us this fall at Billings Farm and enjoy Pollination Week.